Hey there, everybody, and welcome back to Tilly Sports. I hope you guys have been doing very well through the first few days of free agency. Myself, as a New York Jets fan, it's been a little bit of an interesting 48 hours here. We agreed on terms with Carl Lawson, also Corey Davis. I'm not sure quite how I feel yet about it. I think the Lawson signing has very good upside. Corey Davis signing I'm a little less excited about, but hey, what are you going to do? It's free agency. It's how it goes. We had a lot of money to spend, and we spent it on two guys that, maybe I'm not necessarily sold on. But today, in this video, we're going to be discussing Deshaun Watson, his future with the Houston Texans, and possible landing spots, especially after a report came out surrounding Watson and where he could possibly land, with two destinations for him being the Denver Broncos and the San Francisco 49ers. Here on the screen, you can see a Photoshop picture of him in a Denver Broncos uniform. And I do mean it looks pretty good. He does look pretty good in a Broncos uniform. I think that does make a lot of sense for the Broncos to kind of chase. They're going to have long-term financial window where it would work acquiring Deshaun Watson, bringing in his contract. Drew Lock just hasn't been the answer there. We'll see if management wants to pull off a trade for Deshaun Watson. So what would it take in a trade to get Deshaun Watson? You're looking at least 3 first-round picks, in my estimation, probably a second-round pick, and then probably a talented defensive player under the age of 30 years old is my guess. That's kind of what I think the going price will end up being. Maybe see a little bit more, possibly throw in a 4th, 5th round pick, maybe even a 3rd. Now, it's coming out. Houston keeps saying they don't want to trade him, but at the same time, when you're in negotiations for a player worth this much, you're not going to say, yeah, we want to move Deshaun Watson. That's just not a good look. They are going to be listening to calls, even when they say they're not, even when they're telling rival teams, rival GMs, look, we're not trading him. The right offer, the moment it comes along, Houston, Nick Caserio, their GM, they're going to look to make a move, especially amidst the rumors around Deshaun Watson. That's not a good look for the franchise. Now, I'm not saying that they're true. I'm sure that they're not true, actually. It just doesn't seem like Deshaun Watson's character. But it's just more legal matters around the Houston Texans. I just don't think that they want to be putting up with all this drama, especially with Deshaun Watson being so vocal against the franchise. I'm sure they don't want to have someone who's representing their franchise as the face of that franchise. They're sitting and saying, hey, I don't want to be here. It's just not really a good look. So let's think about some of the different places. Denver being a very obvious destination. They need a quarterback there. That would make some sense. That AFC West would get loaded with quarterback talent. You'd look at a division then of Deshaun Watson with Denver, Justin Herbert with the Los Angeles Chargers, Patrick Mahomes, of course, with the Kansas City Chiefs, and Derek Carr with the Las Vegas Raiders. You've got at least 4 of the top 16 quarterbacks in the NFL in one division. That would get very tight, very thick in that division. That would be a division I would not want to be a part of, especially if you're a defensive coordinator. You've got 4 good quarterbacks there, 3 of them being probably elite quarterbacks as Herbert continues to grow. Mahomes, Watson for sure in that elite category already. That would just be a scary sight for that division. Think about, only one division winner there, probably Kansas City still, but Denver would instantly get a lot better, especially with that wide receiving core they have in Jerry Jeudy. They also drafted KJ Hamler, and they have Cortland Sutton as well. That is a very good trio of wide receivers, all of them very young, fit the timeline. They also have Noah Fant at tight end. You're looking at a real destination at that point. They're addressing the defense this year in free agency. And I think that would be a great landing spot for Deshaun Watson. The other one that he had mentioned possibly being on a list for him would be the San Francisco 49ers. They agreed to deal this morning with Trent Williams, their offensive tackle, on a massive 6-year, $138 million deal. That's about $23 million a year annually. And that is very well-deserved deal. And you would look at him being the franchise left tackle to protect Deshaun Watson. Now, they need another playmaker or two yet at this point, I would say, especially at wide receiver positions. I think that is a clear and obvious need for them. I do like Deebo Samuel. I love George Kittle, the best tight end in the league in my estimation. And that front 7 is elite. I think that they could use a little bit of cornerback help at this point. I also think they'll miss Jaquiski Tart if they don't keep him during this free agency period. But the 49ers would be a natural landing spot. They can move on from Jimmy Garoppolo. They have the infrastructure in place where they could afford to really lease out some picks and make a move for Deshaun Watson. 2 other teams that I think are really worth mentioning during the Deshaun Watson video is the Carolina Panthers and the Miami Dolphins. Now, those two fan bases aren't so happy with how free agency's gone. The Panthers franchise tag Taylor Moton. That was a must do there. They needed to keep Taylor Moton around. He is their franchise tackle. Then they brought in Pat Elflein and also signed tackle Cameron Irving in free agency. They've been a little quiet. Not a lot of people have loved what they have done so far, but I've actually been a big fan of the moves there for the Carolina Panthers because it's clear and obvious to me that they're trying to build up an offensive line and save some money while doing so in order to protect their next franchise quarterback, whether that's through the NFL draft. Could be a guy like Zach Wilson via trade up with the New York Jets, moving from pick 8 to pick 2 possibly. Or maybe they roll out all the picks, roll it out on a platter there for the Houston Texans and say, give us Watson. We'll give you a bounty full load here of draft pick capital, whatever you want. We'll even give you a young, talented defensive player. I think that they're a team that would be very interested in making that move. And just imagine Deshaun Watson and Joe Brady's offense with Matt Rule, the head coach there as well. They made Teddy Bridgewater work pretty well there. Now they are going to probably lose Curtis Samuel. That's a big loss, don't get me wrong. But Joe Brady's going to get the most out of his guys. DJ Moore, Robbie Anderson, 2 really good wide receivers. And look for them to probably add another one in possibly day 2 or day 3 of the draft that Joe Brady's going to make work in the NFL. The other team, and the final team I feel like I need to mention, is the Miami Dolphins. Very, very good team already. 10-6 this past year, I believe. Just barely missed the playoffs. They have Tua Tagovailoa, who would be going back to Denver in that deal. He is a valuable piece. They also have 2 first-round picks this year, Selection 3 and Selection 18. They also have 2 second-round picks. They have their first-round pick next year. They have multiple picks on day 3 as well. They are a team that could really afford to go all in on a guy. This is the time for Miami. They've been patient with their money. Some Dolphins fans not very happy with what they've seen. But if they end up getting Deshaun Watson because of their patience, they're one of the few teams still in on a Deshaun Watson possible deal. I think Miami is the best landing spot for him in terms of what assets they have, kind of the trajectory of that roster under Brian Flores. Let me know in the comments below where you think Deshaun Watson will be playing football in 2021. I'm not sold it's going to be the Houston Texans. I'd love to hear what you guys think. Thank you guys all so much for the support recently. It's been absolutely wonderful having you here on the channel. Don't forget to subscribe if you are new. We do a lot of different live streams here on the channel as well. Really appreciate you guys, and we'll catch you in the very next video.